Let's do a simple mediation analysis. Extraversion is your predictor in this example, your X variable, and positive relationships or positive relations is your mediator, your M variable, and your outcome or Y variable is life satisfaction. So extraversion, as you can see, is affecting life satisfaction directly and via positive relationships. There are two regression analyses here, one in which extraversion is predicting positive relations. So this is one regression analysis. And in the second regression analysis, both positive relations and extraversion are predicting life satisfaction together. So we call this path from the predictor to the mediator A, and from the mediator to the outcome B, and the direct effect from extraversion to life satisfaction, your outcome, C prime. So try to memorize these path names because we're going to refer to them during the analysis. After you have your hypothesized mediation, you need to go to this book and see which model is the best fit for your hypothesis. In this case, model 4 is the best model. In SPSS, we are going to use the data file D1. Also, we need the process macro. So if you have not installed it yet, please install it. If you need some instructions, please watch my video on how to download and install the process macro. Analyze. If you install the macro, it will appear here under regression. So you can see the macro. You just need to click on it. Here, first, you need to choose your model number. And for this example, we're going to choose model 4. And the number of bootstrap samples, usually 5,000 is enough, but you can also use 10,000 if you wish. Our outcome or Y variable is life satisfaction. I send it to this box. Our X variable or predictor is extraversion. I send it to this box. And which variable is our mediator? Positive relationships. You can see that you can have more than one mediator using model number 4, but in our example, we only have one mediator. Click on options. Here, click on show total effects. And also, if you're interested in standardized effects, you can click on standardized effects. And I usually prefer to get 2 or 3 decimal places, not 4. Continue. If you have variables with long names, it's always a good idea to click on this to avoid getting error messages. So I accept the risk and continue. And let's look at the results. So we use model 4 and our outcome is life satisfaction. Predictor is extraversion. The mediator is positive relations. And this is the sample size. This is the first regression where our outcome is relations and the predictor is extraversion. So this is just a regression analysis, a typical regression analysis. You have your R-square value, which is about 11%. You have your F value, degrees of freedom, and your P value, right? In this case, it's significant. So extraversion is explaining about 11% of the variance in relations. And this is the unstandardized regression coefficient is 0.58. And it is significant. And this is the confidence interval, which doesn't include 0. Your standardized regression coefficient is 0.337 for extraversion predicting relations. Your second regression is one in which you have two predictors, extraversion and relations predicting life satisfaction. Again, it's a multiple regression. You have your R-square, which is about 12%. You have your F value, degrees of freedom, and P value, which is significant. Extraversion, the regression coefficient is 0.2, which is significant, and positive relations is also significant. So both of them are significantly predicting life satisfaction. And standardized coefficients are here for extraversion and relations. So from these two regression analysis, you can say that your path from extraversion to relation, from your predictor to your mediator, which is the A path, the path we labeled A is significant. So this is the coefficient, and this is the p-value and confidence interval, right? And from the second regression analysis, you can say that your B path, the path from your mediator to your outcome, which is from relation to life satisfaction, this is your B coefficient, which is significant. And the direct path, the path from extraversion to life satisfaction, the C prime path is also significant. This gives you the impression that you have a significant mediation here because your A path and B path, both of them are significant, right? A path is extraversion predicting relations, and your B path is relations, positive relations predicting life satisfaction. Both of them are significant. So it's very likely that you will find a significant mediation, indirect path, right? But the process macro actually tests that hypothesis that your indirect path is significant or not, tested using bootstrapping. And we chose 5,000 replications for our bootstrapping. Here in this section of the outcome, you will see that your indirect effect is reported here, and your total effect and direct effect. So indirect effect is 0.116, and there's no p-value because for indirect effects, we use bootstrapping. And this is your bootstrap confidence interval. If there is no 0 in this confidence interval, you can say that my indirect effect is significant. But if there is 0, your indirect effect is not significant. In this case, there is no 0, so we have a significant indirect effect. Here, you can say that positive relations is actually mediating the relationship between extraversion and life satisfaction. You really have a significant mediator here. And the direct effect is your C prime effect from extraversion to life satisfaction. And this one is also significant. And here is the confidence interval. There is no 0. So you have a significant direct effect and a significant indirect effect. This is one way to report this simple mediation analysis. First, you need to give credit to Hayes by citing his recent book for developing the process macro. And you must report that you use ordinary least squares path analysis in SPSS. You need to report the 2 regression analysis. This is the first one. Your outcome is positive relations, and you have only one predictor, extraversion. This is your second regression analysis. Your outcome is life satisfaction, and you have 2 predictors, extraversion and positive relations. So for your first regression analysis, you report your R-square, F value, degrees of freedom, and P value, and also unstandardized regression coefficient for extroversion, your A path, standard error P value, and this is the standardized regression coefficient. In your second regression analysis, again, you have to report your R-square, F value, degrees of freedom, and P value. Also, you need to report unstandardized regression coefficients for extroversion, which is your C prime path, and for positive relations, which is your B path. So unstandardized regression coefficients, standard errors, p-values, and standardized regression coefficients. So basically, you are reporting 2 regression analyses, and you can also have a path diagram showing your mediation. And I have chosen unstandardized regression coefficients. So this is exactly the unstandardized regression coefficient of extroversion predicting positive relationships. And this one is the unstandardized regression coefficient of relations predicting life satisfaction, exactly this number. And this one is our C prime path, this number. In the text also, you refer to your the path titled A. This is exactly this number. And the path titled B, this is exactly this number. Also, the most important part of reporting a mediation is to talk about your indirect effect. So indirect effect, if the indirect effect is significant, then you have a significant mediation. If the indirect effect is not significant, you don't have a mediation. But we don't use p-value for the indirect effect. We use bootstrap confidence intervals to see if our indirect effect is significant or not. So you report that you use 5,000 bootstrap resamples, and there was no zero in your bootstrap confidence interval. So you can say that positive relations significantly mediated the relationship between extroversion and life satisfaction.